I could tell you of the great battle centuries ago, how the traveler was crippled. I could tell you of the power of the darkness, its ancient enemy. There are many tales told throughout the city to frighten children. Lately, those tales have stopped. Now, the children are frightened anyway.
Yo, what's going on YouTube, and welcome back to another Destiny video. Now today, I'm going to kick off the first in a series of videos where I'm going to be going over the basics of Destiny. Now I appreciate, to many of you, this information is now likely ingrained in your mind and everything to do with Destiny has become second nature to you. But, if you're new to the world of Destiny, then fear not. Throughout this series of videos, I'm going to explain everything you need to know, from taking your first steps as a Guardian, and which class suits you best, to understanding the various currencies in Destiny, and how you'll be using them to acquire that all-important gear. By the end of this series, you should be well versed in all things Destiny, and the prospect of beginning that new adventure shouldn't be quite so daunting after all. So, with that in mind, let's begin. The first video in this series is going to take a look at the 3 classes in Destiny. When you first begin your adventure, you'll be greeted by this screen, and it's at this point that you need to decide the path you want to take. There are 3 classes in Destiny: Titan, Hunter, and Warlock, and in addition to your chosen class, there are also subclasses. Now you can see these as specializations. A subclass will determine the type of character you are and the abilities available to you, so when choosing your class, you have multiple options to consider. Classes in Destiny don't really fall into your typical RPG archetypes, simply because in this game, the notion of tanks, DPS and healers just doesn't apply. That being said, I can still use that framework to explain the behaviours of the respective classes. First up, you have the Titan. If you were looking for a comparison, the Titan would be most akin to a tank. They wear heavy armour, have high defence, and while you are free to play with them in a way that suits you, they do excel in getting the job done up close and personal. The subclasses for the Titan are Striker and Defender. Striker is the most offensive subclass. Your super, Fist of Havoc, will allow you to perform a Hulk smash style attack, obliterating all your surrounding enemies. What's more, this can later be upgraded to a Superman style ground pound for even more impact. And among your other moves, you also have a shoulder charge, for dealing with people up close and quickly. Now on the flip side, you have the Defender subclass. This, as the name suggests, is all about defense. Your super, Ward of Dawn, will summon an impenetrable bubble. Drop this during a firefight and you're shielded from even the biggest explosions, at least for a little while. This subclass also allows you to assist your team by applying different buffs to your shield so that when they pass through it, they receive increases to their attack or their defense. So if you're a team player, this could be a good option for you. Then, next up, we have the Hunters. These are most akin to rogues, or assassins in an RPG framework. Hunters are light, agile, and should they need to be, stealthy. Given that this class, by default, is more about agility, that does mean you won't necessarily want to go ploughing headlong into your encounters like a Titan. As a Hunter, your available subclasses are Gunslinger and Blade Dancer. Your Gunslinger class is more for the ranged fighters out there. Your super will have you summon a golden gun, which carries 3 bullets, each of which will take out your enemies in 1 hit. For the most part, some boss-like enemies don't apply. But, if you're more of an up-close and personal kind of player, then Blade Dancer may be more up your street. Your super will have you summon an Arc Blade, which you can use to take out large groups of enemies in quick succession. And, in addition to that, as a Blade Dancer you can also go invisible. So the stealthy rogue types, this is where you belong. Then lastly, you have the Warlocks. These guys are space magicians, for want of a better phrase. Much like the Hunters, Warlocks are more agile than Titans, but again, suffer from less armour, so you'll want to think twice before kicking down the door and going in all guns blazing. Your subclasses are Voidwalker and Sunsinger. Voidwalker is the most offensive of the 2. With this, you can use your super to unleash a Nova Bomb, a large void magic projectile that deals devastating damage to surrounding enemies. Whereas your other subclass, Sunsinger, while offensive also has a range of other applications. Your super is Radiance, and in its most basic form, it can be used to enhance the effectiveness of all of your abilities. However, at a higher level, you can even use it to bring you back from the grave. So, a Sunslinger Warlock can often turn the tide in battle even when things look like they aren't going your way. Now it's also worth noting that your subclass, no matter what class you choose, is more than just your super. You have a range of grenades available to you, melee attacks, various modifiers to change the way you jump and traverse the environment, and more subtle skills that will alter the stats of your Guardian. So, with all of that in mind, the question still remains, what class should you choose? If you like being in the fray, getting up close and personal with your enemies, and aren't afraid to take a beating, I'd say Titan. If speed and agility is more your thing, perhaps with the helping of stealth, then I'd say Hunter. But if you're looking for a good middle ground, someone who can dish out the damage, turn the tide in battle, and even take a few hits, then perhaps Warlock is more your thing. Also, if you're anything like me, then the way your character looks will also play a big role in your decision. So in short, Titans have big, epic looking armour and wear tabars to show their allegiances. Hunters have more modest armour, but are most recognisable by their capes that trail behind them. And Warlocks dress in robes, with armbands that depict the faction that they fight for. But, with all of that said and done, it's still worth reiterating that Destiny does away with your typical class structures. That means, no matter what class you choose, you can still enjoy Destiny how you want. Sure, there are some differences in your stats, armour, agility, etc., but they are not so drastic that they will prevent you playing your class the way you want. So, once you've made up your mind, it's just a simple case of creating your Guardian. There are 3 races to choose from: Human, Awoken and Exo, and male and female options for both, but it's worth noting, everything from this point onwards is purely cosmetic. No race nor gender has an advantage over one another, so I'll leave the decision making up to you. Hopefully you found this video helpful, and if you did, be sure to hit that like button and show your support, and if you're not already, make sure you subscribe to be part of the Arekkz Gaming Nation, and so you don't miss all of our daily gaming videos. Remember, this is only part 1 of my Destiny Basics series, so be sure to keep it locked for more from the Destiny universe. Thanks again for watching, take it easy, catch you next time, peace out.